Hey there, I'm Verity Songon and this is the Confident CEO podcast, the show that takes you behind the scenes of starting and running your small or not so small business. We will cut through the misinformation and bad advice about starting and running a business and give you actionable tips and advice that you can implement to grow, scale and achieve your business goals. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Confident CEO podcast. I am absolutely delighted to be joined by Lauryn Griffiths today. Lauryn is a social media manager for female coaches. She is a mum of two, but pending her third, and she has got 6 years of content creation experience. Lauryn, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here, and it's my first podcast appearance. So, what a great way to start the year! I am so pleased to be joining you here. Yeah, I'm a social media manager, but I've been in content creation for 6 years. So, I've had a blog, I've done YouTube, Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I practice what I preach. So, I don't like to call myself an expert because I just think social media is so temporary and it's always changing. So I don't think you can really be an expert on it. But yeah, I like to think I know my stuff. So yeah, I am expecting my third baby due in June. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for the conversation that we are going to be having today because you and I have been talking for, I want to say, a few months now about Instagram. You've helped me with my Instagram, which is why I really wanted you to come on the podcast so that everybody can benefit from your knowledge, because Instagram is the place where you really shine at the moment, and you're really focused on your Instagram. So what I really wanted to do was open up with this massive question. I can see you grinning all right. I know that I know that you know that it's coming, but it's the question which I find has been circling for a couple of years. It comes through, waves and patterns and stuff. But the big question out there is Instagram dead? Is it worth us using Instagram in 2023?
I see so many people saying this in different ways, saying, should I go over onto TikTok? Should I even bother with Instagram? It isn't working, all of these things. And the short answer is no, it isn't. It's just always evolving. And when it comes down to it, I think it is a mindset shift that people have to have. They're looking at it in a way that they want to have success in a short amount of time, and they're getting attached to that outcome. So the question should really be, is it a quick way to getting loads of followers, getting loads of customers, clients, and skyrocketing your business? Most of the time it isn't. You'll see these accounts that grow really quick, businesses that blow up, all of these things. It's always been the same. But ultimately, these things take time. It takes getting to know what content fits with you, what you're aligned with, your style. And then obviously the algorithm has a big impact. But I think when I say a mindset shift, what I mean is it's not letting the algorithm, not seeing the algorithm as this big monster that can kind of take control of your how you see your success on Instagram. People will say, oh, the algorithm's done this, or when they brought in reels and they were boosting reels, people were saying they couldn't just do a normal post and it was all about reels. But actually, who makes those rules? You can still post those things, and it's just having that mindset of you don't always need to please the algorithm, which sounds really backwards because you would think a social media manager would say, do everything the algorithm likes, and that is important. But what I'm saying is a lot of the content that ends up doing well, that people are drawn to, is different, because if everyone does what the algorithm likes, it becomes all the same. It becomes all the same trends. It becomes, people like merging into each other because they're not being their authentic self. They're getting too attached to it and too attached to the outcome. So I'll take a breath because that was a lot of a lot of information there. But yeah, I've really analysed this and kind of, I work with a lot of different people and on their Instagrams and their businesses. And once they get over that detachment from what success looks like on Instagram, they start to thrive because that's not all they're thinking about.
I love that so much. That idea of just, thinking about what it is that your audience actually
Yeah,
want, and also what you're comfortable with putting out there. And one thing that I was thinking of as you were saying that, there was I can't think of who it was now, but there was that incident in the news a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago, whenever it was, of that influencer who had like tens of thousands of
yeah.
followers on, I can't remember if it was Instagram or TikTok, but regardless,
I
tens and tens
think
of
it was
thousands.
Instagram.
Was
Yeah, I
it
want to say it
Instagram?
was.
And
Yeah.
she launched a t-shirt
Hmm.
brand or something, and she couldn't sell a single one. And
No,
I think that just goes to show that you don't need hundreds of thousands of followers to be successful. Nothing magical
absolutely
happens when you
not.
get like four or five
No,
figure followers. And people run incredibly successful businesses with 3 digits worth of followers. And I think that's a really, really important and sobering thing that you were saying,
that's
that
it. Yeah.
you've got to be comfortable with the content you're putting out there. It's got to suit your audience.
If you're not enjoying it, your audience can sense it. If you're not showing up in a way that you're aligned with, and aligned is such a big word for me, you're not going to be fully putting yourself out there. You're not going to be showing up in a way that lights up your audience as well, that magnetizes them to your content, and it takes time. People, if they're new to Instagram, if they're new in business, if they're still finding their feet in with their business and what they want to do, it can take time to find that flow and find the content that they enjoy and that their audience enjoys. Because obviously, what you enjoy is great, but it has got to appeal and attract and serve your audience as well. So, yeah, I think my biggest bit of advice is detach from, the outcome of followers, of likes, of engagement. And that sounds so, you'll get so many different people saying so many different things on this, but if you get so caught up in those that you're not actually enjoying the content you're putting out, and then your audience aren't, what is the point? You're not actually going to grow. If you're not enjoying something, it's not sustainable, you're not going to do it long term. So obviously it is important to see that the content you're putting out, is it working or not? Are you getting engagement from it? Are you getting reach from it? That is important. But if you're obsessing over it, it's just not good for you. It's not good for your mental health as well. Because social media is such a big part of our lives now.
Absolutely. I love that advice so, so much. I really do. I want to pick up on something that you said, though. You mentioned about stories, posts, carousels, reels. There seems to be so much, or so many different types of content that we can
Yeah.
put on Instagram. So what is the difference between stories, posts, carousels, and reels?
Okay, so on Instagram, it all started out with just a post, which is a single image or a single graphic. So a graphic could be something you've done on Canva, where you see like a diagram or some text or a quote. That is a post. A carousel is the swipey ones, I like to call them, where you can swipe across and read bits of information, or people can do it with photos. And they are really, really big at the moment. They're kind of head with reels, which I've really noticed. Reels are the ones that we're all addicted to. The video content. So any video that is uploaded to Instagram now is posted as a reel. There's so many different types of reels. You'll see the trends where people are like lip syncing, or they're doing something funny, they're pointing at a screen. You'll see original content where somebody's sat talking you through something, teaching you something. There's so many different kinds of reels you can do. And yeah, I think reels have been a great thing for Instagram. Everywhere's obviously been taken over with video content, so it's not something that everyone liked. However, what I always say is, whether people like it or not, we all find ourselves watching them. So we're definitely, we're definitely drawn to them. And it's because of the society we live in now. We like a quick, what's the word, like Amazon next day delivery.
Mm.
We want the information there and then, so instead of sitting and reading, we listen to reels. We get that burst of information, that bit of humor, that bit of inspiration. So that's why reels do so well. Stories. So stories are actually separate because they're not on the grid. So when I say grid, that is obviously where all the photos and videos appear, under your username. Stories are in the little circle, along the top of Instagram. You'll see someone's picture and then you'll click on it, and if they've put a story on, that's where it will appear. So stories, I like to say, are behind the scenes of your life, your business, and they're perfect for connecting with your audience. So your grid should all be about value, and how I break down value is educational, inspirational, humour, or solving a problem. So they're all things that are valuable. And then your stories can be everything and anything that's going to help you connect with your audience. So yeah, stories have their own algorithm as well, which means that you can post them on there. People may see your stories more than they see your actual post on your grid.
That's really people to know that there is that
Yeah,
separate algorithm. But I think that's a great breakdown of all of the different types of content
yes,
that you can post on Instagram. And I'm sure that there are probably some people now thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds so
like a
overwhelming.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so much work to be putting into that. So how, or do you have any like top tips for people dealing with this sense of overwhelm when it comes to posting content on Instagram or on any social media platform, but particularly on Instagram?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would say, protect your energy from social media. So actually have your boundaries there. If you're spending, just take note of how much time you are spending on it, and if it's becoming too much. Obviously, I'm no counselor. I will just say that. But if it is becoming too much, just first take that step back, because if you're always on it, you're always seeing it, you're not going to want to be consistent on it, and you're just going to get overwhelmed. So that is the first step. If you are somebody who is on TikTok all the time, because that is very addictive. We all do it sometimes. Or Instagram is becoming a place that's not fun for you. Definitely just take note of that. But moving on from that kind of point, you need to have simple systems in place that make it an easy and fun process for you. So making it easy. And that doesn't mean that all the followers and likes will flow in, but it means that it's something you can continue to do without getting burnt out and overwhelmed. So the first thing you need to do is decide, how many times a week do I want to post? What days do I want to post on? And what content types do I want to post? So, there are accounts that just post carousels, that just post reels. I say to my clients, if you can do a variety of all of them, they all have their place in your content plan. They all serve different purposes, but it's got to be something that feels good for you. So if a reel of you sitting there talking to your audience is a big no, then that's not going to be something that you show up to do, and it's going to make you feel more overwhelmed and put off than ever. So, yeah, create a simple plan. And it's literally as simple as what days, what content types. Don't get caught up on the times. There's not really a perfect time to post. There's more optimized, there's times where more people will be online. But if you only post at that perfect time, life happens. You don't post at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you're writing yourself off when actually that post you put out could be the reason you get a new client or a new customer. So I think just taking away all that pressure that you put on yourself to get it all perfect, and it's just taking messier action. So that's the first thing that I would do is create that plan. Then there is content pillars. So when I say content pillars, people they're like, oh, what is that? I don't know what that means. It is literally themes in your content. So it's really, really simple. And I recommend just picking 3 to 5 themes that will shape your content, shape your message, and make it appeal to your ideal clients or customers. So, I'm not going to give examples because um, I've it just depends on your business. There'll be so many different business models, ideal clients, customers. But just think about, what do you want to be known for? What are you passionate about? What can you deliver to your audience? And what are your audience searching for? What questions do they have? Sorry. And you can take inspiration as well from other accounts that have the same ideal clients. Don't copy, but just take inspiration and see what's working for them.
I love that so much because I think sometimes you're right, people do get really caught up on content pillars. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day actually, and it was amazing how many content pillars they had. They had something like 10, and I was
Oh,
there thinking, oh my,
wow.
yeah, I was like, wow, that's like holding up an entire like Greek temple. I was like,
I
that's a,
mean,
that's a lot.
if it works for them, and what if something works for you, keep doing it. But
It
for
wasn't. They
me,
were
I think
completely overwhelmed.
10 is just, you couldn't even do one a week because there's 7 days in a week. So straight away for me, that's like, and I don't, unless you really want to, I don't say, post 7 days a week, because you just don't need to. So yeah, 3 to 5 is plenty.
Yeah, it's like it's what's manageable, isn't it? And
Yeah,
what is feeling aligned with you and
yeah,
with your business as well.
that's it.
Absolutely.
And the thing I will add with content pillars, they're not set in stone. Your business will evolve. You'll notice, oh, I'm getting more engagement on this thing. I feel aligned with this. I feel like I'm called to talk about this. You can literally cross it out on a bit of paper and change that content pillar. It doesn't matter. You're in the driver's seat. You get to choose. So don't feel like you've got to spend weeks thinking about your content pillars. Just write down what feels good for you now. If something doesn't work, change it. Or if something shifts in your business, then you can change it.
I've just had a question pop into my mind, which I've just thought about, which is around people feeling spammy when it comes to engagement. So I spoke to somebody a while ago and they said, what can I put at the end of my posts? Because she said, I just feel like I'm constantly saying to people, DM me, DM me, DM
Yeah,
me. And she goes, I feel like I'm just spamming people constantly, but I'm not actually getting anyone to DM me. I'm writing it, but
right.
it's not translating. So, what kind of advice do you have around encouraging engagement from your posts or reels or stories?
So, first of all, we'll just go through the importance of adding call to actions. So, a call to action is literally giving an instruction at the end of your post or on your post, if it's a carousel or a post, on a reel. So, a call to action would be something like, if you want to, say for me, if you want to attract ideal clients through your social media, DM me with this. However, if you're always saying DM me and it feels spammy or you're not getting the results, what I would say is just take away the DM me and just say, PS, I have availability to work with me if you're ready to um, speak to your ideal clients and attract more ideal clients, something like that. Obviously, I'm using examples for a female coach or for a social media manager. Put what fits. But the truth is, if they see that transformation that you're listing, so if you're a personal trainer, if you want to be in the best health for 2023, I have spaces to work with me. If they see that and they're like, that is me, they will message you. They don't need someone to say DM me. They know how to contact you. So you can literally take it off if it doesn't feel good or it's not actually getting you more messages. Another great thing that works, and it's really simple, is when you actually do a post. If it's a carousel, it works perfectly. The end slide, make it a call to action, but it doesn't have to be, you know, DM me, like this post. It can literally be like, PS, if you're a woman that is looking to, I don't know, go from couch to 5K, or run 5K, or I can't think of an example right now. So for me, I'd put something like, if you're ready to create powerful content that um, brings you more ideal clients, remember that I offer this service. So it's just kind of, you can do it in a way where you are literally dropping that hint at the end, and it feels less spammy to people. So just shift the way that you're doing it, but keep using call to actions, because people sometimes need that direction, the next step, or a reminder to like something, to save something. Always give a reason why. So if you're going to put save this post, put list the transformation. So save this so that you can become healthier in 2023, or save this if you want to create the best curls for your hair, if you're a hairdresser or something. So list a transformation, remind them of why they should save that post, why they should like it, if they can relate to it, if they found it funny. Double tap this post if you've ever been in this situation, things like that, making it relevant to them and giving them a reason to do it. That's what I would say.
I think that's brilliant advice. I really, really like that. It's like you said, it's shifting that perspective from being
Yeah,
so salesy, I suppose. And if you're feeling spammy, just shifting it slightly and seeing how that works for you. Like you said, just play around and see what's working best with your audience and for your
absolutely.
engagement rates there. I love that. We have talked about so much this episode. There is
I
so
know.
much goodness
I could talk
in.
about it all day.
We'll have to get you back on. We'll do like a whole Instagram series. What I would love to ask you though is, for any of our lovely listeners listening today, if there is one tip that you would like them to take away, or one nugget of information you would like them to take away from this episode, what would it be?
It would be to really marry the process of creating content that feels good for them, creating content that they know is fitting and really speaks to and serves their ideal client or customer. So marry that process of doing that, divorce the result. And if you do that, and I don't mean, don't have goals, don't check your insights, but I mean, stop getting so caught up on it. Do what feels good, learn what your client and customers want from you, and just do that. And if you can take away that pressure and that end result, then that's actually when you'll start to thrive on Instagram.
Brilliant. I love that so much. For our lovely listeners who want to catch up with you and find out a bit more about you, where can they find you and how can they get in contact?
Yep, so my Instagram is at Peachy Socials. Peachy has an E, so it's EY. I am on TikTok as well, which is also Peachy Socials. That's quite a new account, but I am over there. And yeah, you can pop me a message. I've got some freebies that you can download, and my inbox is always open.
Fantastic. I'm going to have all of that linked down in the show notes there, so people can catch up with you using those links. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today, Lauren. It's been an
Thank
absolute
you for
pleasure.
having me. I love it. I feel like I need to get on more podcasts. So it's just nice having a chat and yeah, just being able to help as many people as possible. So thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Confident CEO podcast. Before you go, I would absolutely be overjoyed if you could take just 2 minutes to leave me a review in Apple Podcasts. Reviews are a great way to tell Apple Podcasts how much you enjoyed the show, and it helps the algorithm to push out the podcast to more people, thereby helping us to help empower even more badass businesswomen to grow their inner CEO and grow to be the confident CEO of their business that they can be. I love to shout you out in your reviews as well. So you never know, you might be hearing your name on the podcast in the next episode. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.